And after a long cleaning fiasco that we saw there, I had made a mess over the last few days of just rust repair, getting my butt kicked on the Dart, getting my butt kicked on the Corvette, messing with the blue truck on some behind the scenes stuff, which I've said a million times. We have boxes, we're just waiting for weather change. So many things to do that to that truck, and then by the time, roughly the time starts to work on it, it'll be tax time, which means more stuff. But it has nothing to do with today's video. Today's video, Dart stuff, and hopefully not rust repair. Today we're actually going to dive into attempting to cobble together a fuel system with all brand new parts, but I have no idea how that's going to go. To get to the point though, to be able to crank the fuel through the fuel system, we need to put the steering column back in. So I'm going to get you guys off the tripod, get you onto a small handheld, and we'll see what is going on with, there's parts all around. So let's do-si-do. Before we do that though, the usual thank you to all my subscribers, thank you to the new, thank you to the old. If you haven't already, hit that button down below and stay tuned for more. Now let's work. Okay, good news? Bad news? I don't know. News? Yeah, something like that. So you saw me messing with some wiring under the dash, attempting to put the steering column in. Never put the steering column in. Ended up, see here, let it focus, messing with some wiring through here, all the way to the alternator, basically everything under the hood, figuring out what they had used, what they weren't using, things that are just kind of looped and laid and taped up, and a couple things. Not putting the steering column in now. And I think I'm gonna have to rewire a chunk, and it's not anybody's fault, it's not anything like that. I just have a weird thing about wiring, and I hate butt connectors, and I hate tape over random, I hate not knowing where things go, when things are just, yeah, I don't like that. I used to. I just stepped in the biggest wad of tape. At least it wasn't dog shit. But yeah, untaping a bunch of stuff. I gotta throw all that away. And untaping, pulling out miscellaneous things in here. I don't need all the stereo equipment in the world. I just want 2 speakers and a head unit. That's all we'll have in here when that time comes. We're gonna talk about an ammeter, delete and splice. There's gonna be some things here that have to get done. But I think if I stop touching the wiring now, I haven't removed anything necessarily from it driving in here. So if it drove in here, it should still start as long as it has some fuel. Which in my mind, I'm gonna grab this wad of tape up while I'm here. And then like the heater hoses, or the heater core air lines are not the right size. I used to do that on the 55 and I hate that, so I'll buy some cheap ones and just get that fixed. But I'm gonna try to crouch down to see. I don't think I mentioned this, I painted the roof black, got that all rust converted out all the way down, so I'm digging that. I need to get a headliner, put all the bows back in and all that stuff, but I think we switch steps here and we put the tank, some new rubbers in, sending you blah blah blah, run all that stuff. That way, I mean, here. Now I have to pull the filler neck real quick and redo that. Jamie gave me some advice on that, but yeah, I think if we just pull off these, let's see, get a light down here. We pull off these chunky rubbers. The hard lines still look all in good shape. I could at least pop this off and crank it until I see if I get some fuel. See, I know the fuel pump works because it worked out of the can, but yeah, I remember vaguely. This was ignition. No. This was ignition. And this was cranking. This is battery. So yeah, see, I mean, I'm just rambling here, and now the neighbor's gonna be cutting stuff, so I'm gonna go in the house. But yeah, that guy's cool. He gave me some free metal stands that I threw under the Corvette. He just was like, hey, you want some free stands I've had for like 15 years? Why not? I like having cool neighbors. But now that I'm on a ramble, like I said, I got some goodies for it. So let's just hop in here and we'll time lapse throwing the sending unit, the seal, and all this stuff. Might check in there with a light and blow it out with some air, make sure it's all clean, but we can assemble all this. I have fuel line downstairs, we have the straps, let's just put the fuel system together. Try and get some fuel up to the motor. Maybe hear it. Plus it lets me watch TV. And it's warm in here. Yeah, I'm gonna do all that. So, the air hose?
Yeah.
You have to reach your hand down here and hold that.
Okay.
And then,
Put the air hose into it?
yeah, put the air hose into it and blow it. Do you need the flashlight to be able to see?
Nope.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get down here so I can see where you're about to do this. Okay, go ahead. Okay, you can stop. Perfect. Thank you. That was exactly what I needed. I know it's now that one. See, having a wife is the best. Okay. So with the straps being super easy, of course, the stupid floor to filler neck thing, 20 or 30 minute procedure to get it installed, because thankfully, I noticed during editing, but also Jamie verified, filler neck goes outside, tank seal this way. Now, he said to leave this slightly loose down here, and I'm going to actually give this guy a nice liberal coating. I don't care if I get a little WD-40 in my gas. Oh, I need to go get gas, which by the way, just reminded me. But, let's go ahead and lube this thing up a bit. She'll never be mad at you for more lube. And see. Oh shit. Maybe I put this too high. Tank not high enough? Let's just take this thing and shove it way up into oblivion. But it's not gonna bother me. Oh yeah. That's gonna be our issue. Right there. Ta-da. You can do it. Oh, I think we got a little bit. Come on, big daddy. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, darling. Hey, okay. Now, up, wiring this way. Yeah. Alright. An understatement of, I mean, my hands are black from the fill neck, the RTV, the WD-40, everything. This thing was the worst to get up on this. Initially, like I had said in the last clip, but then getting it back down all the way and into place to line up the hardware, shoot me. Absolutely just shoot me. Okay, so the downside here is I'm losing daylight and I don't have any gas. And ta-da, YouTube magic. So now we have some gas. I gotta put the gas in the damn car, and then once this is all done, we can actually test the whole, just sprayed gas everywhere. We test the whole theory of, one, is this actually going to get fuel up to the front of the car? Is it gonna leak everywhere? Am I gonna make a mess just continuously pouring this on the ground? Yeah, all those things. So while I do this, I'll see you guys shortly. So after goofy little clip with the wife and a puddle of gas on the ground, take this old gas cap, just toss it in the spare fuel pile for now. And before we dive into working on the front portion of this fuel system and seeing if all that hard work paid off, or if any of this work has paid off, got to obviously install the final little odds and ends here. I put about, nice, ooh, perfectly level too. Look at that. Okay, so I put about 4 gallons of fuel in it. It's a 16-gallon tank, I believe, so it's a quarter tank of fuel. Nothing major. And I'm gonna come up here. You're not gonna be able to see, but down there, yeah, you're not gonna be able to see. So the fuel line that goes to the carburetor, we're gonna probably pull off for now. But that fuel line that, here, stick the magnet down there. I think I can grab it with my hand. There we go. This guy, it's actually, looks like a fairly new section of hose. I might reuse that. I might just throw a hose clamp on and see what it does. I was gonna snip it off and replace it, but I think it's a brand new section of hose. The hose clamp is new, that's for sure. After snipping that fuel line on, I guess I need to move this junk out of the way. I can stay there. I can kind of stay there. You move. Move. Battery tray holds. Seems like it is. Okay. Make sure. The old smoke check. Okay. This can stay here. Before I'll let that thing try to crank on anything. Okay, I don't have anything anywhere I don't want to. I don't think. Maybe check the cars in neutral. Should be neutral. Okay. I guess the only thing to try here is see. I don't know if this battery's even good enough to crank it. Had it on the old boiler for a while. Come on now. Okay. That's not what we want. That's good. That's good. That's all kind of good. Okay. Being slightly out of breath now. I ran around forever. Found way too big of a battery. Jumpers. Another battery. But I think it spins over fast enough now. Or I just start cranking on it. Okay. It has oil. That's good. Should probably check that, but I guess we're gonna crank on it until either I smell fuel or see fuel or the batteries run out. I'll give the starter a little bit of a break every so often because I'm not trying to kill it. Okay, so got the battery on boil for right now. I noticed, so we have a vacuum cap there. Let me flip the camera back so I can see this. You guys see that port? That's like a booster vacuum line with nothing on it. Oh wait, yeah, that guy down there. So I think if I run in here real quick, I thought I lost the screw, and I just found it on the camera. Sweet. That's for the steering wheel horn button. Store. Yes. That one, or it's gonna be one of the smaller sizes. Yeah, we'll find one of these. So maybe that's why it wasn't wanting to start. Maybe that's why it ran funny before and didn't want to run great. No vacuum cap. I don't know. Gotta get the battery to boil longer. A the right side. Next size up. See, yeah, come on. You can do it. Yeah. Okay. No giant vacuum leak, and it was pumping fuel. Just at the last second before my battery started to die and before I shut the camera off, we did have fuel coming out, so that's cool. I just now need it to start, because I don't really want to end this without it starting. I said, I got one there. I lost that one, I thought. There was only two, but now there's three. So at least that can go back in there once we do the wiring video. But for now, I guess I'm gonna leave this thing on boil, and I will see you guys shortly. Alright, so I did cheat ever so slightly. Now it's battery. Do I have the audio on? I don't know, I'm so flustered right now. Did I just kick the charger off? What did I just do? Okay, so I have battery to charger. Oh, giant leaks under the car. Ignition's where ignition needs to go. And Jesus. Don't touch the starter when you're I swear. Come on, buddy. No, you want to. Oh, it's running. Whoa, flashlight fan scared me. Dude, it's idling. Alright. I need phone documentation also. Oh, I just... Oh!
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Shut off by itself. I don't hear any leaks or anything like that. I'm gonna see if it will fire up one more time. Close the choke a little more. Give it a little more fuel. Starter sounds great. Backfire scared the shit out of me. Like a sewing machine. B-roll time. Realizing I filmed the entirety of this video in 60 frames per second compared to the normal, I don't know how any of this is gonna come out, but I'm stoked. We got the fuel system finished. The car's running so much better than I realized it did, but now obviously we have to rewire a bunch of things. I'm actually gonna knock over all that fuel on the ground like an ass and then kill it. I honestly didn't expect it to run, let alone that good. I gotta go through a bunch of things. I need to throw like a little hose clamp or P-clamp on this fuel line so it doesn't ever get near the belt. Like I said, the alternator is not tight. That's why the belt's squeaky. There's a bunch of things. I have a radiator on order for this thing. I have a bunch of parts on order and a bunch of parts to put in, which is all for the wiring stuff, because now that we know it starts from the outside of the car, I need to start from the inside. I need the lights to work, brakes to work, steering to work, heater, etc. We're trying to make this thing a daily driver, daily ripper, daily fun haver machine. But I don't know about you guys, I am beyond stoked. It runs, it fires right up. We have a fuel system that we were initially trying to do in the last videos, and yeah, so now I can throw this thing away because I don't think I need it. I may just pop the sending unit out and keep the sending unit in the lock ring. Who knows? If anything, that's a good hose clamp and that's a good hose clamp. But with that, like I said, this is going to be a short one, to the point, and that was the point. And now I am going to get out of here. It's late. It's actually like 10 o'clock at night, and my neighbors are going to hate me for all the revving I was doing. But I am going to pause my TV in here, and like I said, I'm letting you guys go. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more, because we have a bunch on the way. Average Joe Builds, I'm out of here.
Yeah.